Yeah, the Vienna region makes it quite special to work here because we have a very good infrastructure in the Vienna region. We have the city of Vienna, 30 minutes by car from here to Vienna. We are in 30 minutes, we are in the mountains. And if you go to the south, next to us, we have the Lake Neusiedl where we can go swim. We also have the ability in Vienna to go into the Danube to swim. It makes it quite special here to work.
This idea was born when sitting together in a small restaurant and setting up the company, and we actually thought that there might be a need for Fokker training, as Austrian Airlines at this time was one of the largest Fokker operators in the world. We actually started from nothing. We started from the scratch, and here in Burgenland and especially in Neusiedl, there was a nice area to bring up the company. And also all the infrastructure was present to set up a modern company at this time. We have Vienna airport, we have railroads, we have highways, so it's still an ideal point to set up a company. All the stuff set up in Pandorf with cinemas, shopping, hotels, and the work-life balance is excellent. I would consider this region as possible location for the company, especially in Burgenland area, the positive side of the government in establishing major companies, mid-sized companies within their region, and of course the workforce pool. You have all the universities in Vienna. The quality of education the students get in aeronautical engineering in Eisenstadt is excellent. So for us it's a premium pool in getting workforce for the aviation industry. This is a good basis for getting employment within aviation industry and also within Aviation Academy Austria, because the broad spectrum of the training specialized for aviation is excellent. From the beginning on, the major focus was that training is a major contribution to flight safety. And that's still the focus of the whole company. That's what everybody here stands for.
So what we do actually are a professional provider of training for professional pilots and education in aviation. That means that we have actually two ways of business we do. The main thing is that we operate full flight simulators. As you may know, is that pilots are usually forced to do their training at least once a year. So customers we have are airlines or business jet operators, and their pilots come here to get a new license or to renew their license. That's the one thing. The other thing is we educate young people who want to become a professional pilot. Actually, Austria has about 9 million inhabitants, and in the Vienna region there are living between 3 and 4 million inhabitants. So it's really much power, intellectual power, cultural power, economic power here in this region. What was really important to decide to be here in the Vienna region is that the biggest airport in the region in Austria is Vienna Airport. And what is really crucial for the success of our company is that it's connectivity. In the Vienna region there is much financial power. There are also venture capital companies, private equity companies who are focused on financing risky companies. And I can tell you something, if they go to a bank or young people go to a bank and want to have millions of euros, then it's hardly possible to get enough capital. In this Vienna region there is enough financial power to also for startup companies which are very capital intensive. They can fulfill their wishes and dreams they have. In this case it was funded by the federal government of Burgenland and the financial investor Athena Burgenland. That's a long-term investor. It's a venture capital investor, but they have a long-term strategy. And it's extraordinary that even 15 years after they started their investment, they are still on board as an investor in this company. Vienna is the most livable city in the whole world. And why is this so? Because it's a good mix of economic power, it's international organizations, international companies, but you have work-life balance. It's a world center of culture, beautiful city with a lot of beautiful history building, and even the surroundings are quite well. You have this Wienerwald, this forest belt surrounding Vienna. Niederösterreich, Burgenland, all those regions here in the Vienna region, they are extraordinary and makes a perfect mix for a person who wants to stay here, and I don't see any reason why it should change in the future.
The Austrian Aviation Academy is, in my opinion, a very good example for a very competitive in an international view. If we look in the past, they started up as a startup, first of all. So they had the early stage funding. They had people behind them who were thinking of them, they were believing in them. Austrian Aviation Academy has an investment with a venture capital fund of the Burgenland government, because they are all sure that is a successful story. And what you can see, they start 10 years ago with 1 simulator, and now they have 5, and they even got 1 more. They meet here very international people who come here well connected, and it's easily for them to come from the airport, go back in their country. I think it's the perfect business location to settle down because of the funding and the financial services, growth funding, and it also makes it possible for a company in an international market to explore sustainable growth here. It's a very good success story.
Working at Aviation Academy Austria is special, I would say, in the region. We are able to offer maybe a more familiar workplace. You work with high technology, in a very interesting part of the industry. Come, train with us, join us, and trust the system international major airlines trust.